Tuesday, everyone. We got a fun little work set coming at you today. Before we get to it, let's talk about our warm-up. The warm-up's gonna be relatively brief, but I want you to give yourself enough that's gonna get you ready for this big and own AMRAP today. So we're gonna plank to down dog, 3 to 5 reps. Nice chance to warm the shoulders and those hips and hamstrings. Forearm plank reach through, 15 seconds per side. Plank lean for 6 to 10 alternating, and a prone shoulder raise of 6 to 10 alternating reps. 2 rounds, taking that down nice and steady and smooth. Then we'll move into our last little piece of warm-up, which is the butt kick of 20 seconds. Air squats of 20 seconds, not max reps, but just get the legs feeling those squats really well, so working good quality and good practice for movement. Moving right into 10 seconds of goblet squats. Try and keep this transition from the 20 seconds of air to goblet squat relatively short, just enough time to pick the dumbbell up and then start squatting to build off of that fatigue to really embrace that weighted squat. After that, you're gonna practice your Renegade Row of 4 to 6 alternating reps, and you'll hit that up for 2-ish rounds, maybe 3, if you'd like to replace a butt kick with what you're gonna do for your cardio piece, your run, row, bike, who knows, perhaps. Please do so. Make that warm-up piece yours to get you ready for the workout. The workout itself is a longer state kind of work set. We're looking at 25 minutes of a nice moderate to low intensity, just a steady flow state of movement. We're looking at a run of 800 meters or 600 meters, so it's a little bit longer. So again, we're not sprinting this, we're taking it at a pace that you can maintain and basically keep each of these run efforts roughly about the same every round. So hit that nice and steady. You'll come in, you're gonna rock 50 double unders or a double under equivalent, which will be on the workout description, and then 10 goblet squats and 10 alternating Renegade rows. So with the goblet squat and Renegade row, they can be different loading if you have different loads at home. Please keep that in mind. The goblet squat will be on the heavier side in comparison to the Renegade row. Once you're done your 10 rows, you're back into your run, back out there and giving her, and then take it down, 25 minutes of steady state enjoyment. Let's get you warmed up, let's have some fun today. All right, let's get you guys moving. Let's get those feet into the hips. We're gonna take the arms up big and tall. Big reach over to one side. Let's take it back up and over again to the other side as well. We'll come back up, big hinge all the way down to the floor, touching those toes. Walking up those shins, we'll take it all the way down, framing the foot. We'll step back into your lizard as we take that inside hand all the way up. We're gonna get one rotation, forearm to the floor, coming back up overhead. We'll plant that hand on the front foot, turn that torso. We'll come back to center, lower the knee, press the hip, back to center, press the hip, back to center, and press the hip. Center, we're going to straighten out the leg, turn the torso, we'll come back through, plant that hand, step her back into our down dog, reaching those hips high, open up that upper back, just hang out here for a moment, we'll come back in, setting it up on the opposite side, so the other foot comes up, inside hand is going to reach way up to the ceiling, rotating forearm to the floor, coming back up, we'll plant the hand, pressing into that front foot, we'll turn, we'll come back to center, lowering the knee, press the hip, come back to center, press the hip, back to center, and press the hip, back to center. We're going to straighten out that leg, turn the torso, coming back through, plant that hand on the floor, step her back into our down dog as we reach those hips super high. We'll walk those heels out a few times. Nice and gentle. Just wake up those calves and ankles. We'll come back into our plank. We're going to tiptoe those feet up. Roll ourselves all the way up. Big stretch. Good, big reach. Big reach. Good. Bring those hands down. Get ourselves ready to go. We'll have some fun. If there's any extra little gentle warm-up pieces you want to do for yourself to get you ready before starting on that next phase, please pause the video, take that down, come back at you, and we'll follow me into that next phase of work. All right, we're going to kickstart off our day with our plank to down dog. So I'm going to get myself established in a really nice solid plank position. So I'm going to push the floor away, which is going to get those shoulders nice and active. I'm going to pull the ribs in. So I'm nice from here, I'm going to activate and press the floor away as I pull those hips up, softening my knees a bit, my ankles, so I can get that good activation through the hip. But my armpits are going to stay in that good active position as well, so they're going to point towards my thighs or my toes. I'm going to slowly come into that plank as well, pushing the floor away, finding that engagement through the arms. As I move back in, I'm going to really try and wrap those shoulders around my body as I make sure that I maintain that nice overhead position. So I have a neck here in this position. We're not shrugging up, we're activating but pulling that shoulder around the body, almost like your lats are giving you a big hug. From there, we're going to move into our forearm plank reach through. So this can be done a couple different ways. We're going to get ourselves set up in our forearm plank position. So I'm going to get my shoulder over top of my elbow. And I can take this from either my knees, so this knee plank position, or I can take this from my full forearm plank. You get my arm reaching up, and I'm going to come through with this arm reaching as best I can, and then opening up into that side plank. Now with the knee position, if we choose to do it from the knees, you're going to be limited to your range of motion, and that's okay. I want you guys to focus first and foremost on setting up that strong shoulder position so we're nice and active through the arm. So keep that in mind as we're kind of building into that positioning. If you're on the knees, we want to make sure we're stably pressing through the arm, lifting those hips up before we start to shift into the toes. Okay, so make sure we're able to maintain that good activation through the side and the shoulder before we start trying to do that through the toes, because it's a very challenging position and we want to make sure we're focusing on that rotation and still maintaining that good activation through these pieces. We're going to hit that up for 15 seconds per side. There's no allotted reps there, so take your time, move well, and move for quality. After that, we're going to move into our plank lean. So we're going to come back up into our full plank on our hands. Gripping the floor, our hands are going to be just outside the shoulders. We're going to step back into our plank as we pull the ribs, push the shoulders. We're going to lean to one side. We're going to keep pushing the floor away as we lean to the other side. And you're only going to take it as far as your shoulders and your wrists will allow. So we're trying to keep those arms pushing against the floor and keeping them straight as we shift from side to side. Really focusing on that arm position as I push through the ground. Once I'm done my plank lean, we're going to move on to the floor like we did yesterday and work through our prone shoulder raise. And this is just a nice opportunity to work on keeping those toes together, working on that good hollow position through the core, and really feeling that shoulder engagement. So I don't want you to necessarily worry about how high the arm is going to get, but focusing on that nice solid engagement from pinky toe to pinky finger. As I lift, maintaining that armpit position towards the floor, I'm going to hold this engagement, and then lower down, and then switch sides. So I'm using the floor on the opposite side to assist with that lift of the arm. The armpit, very similar to when we do our down dog, we want to make sure it's facing the floor and we're maintaining that so as we lift, we're not rotating inwards so that we get that funky shoulder position, right? So, like I say, don't worry about height, worry about position, and the height will come over time. As a quick recap, we have our plank to down dog for 3 to 5 reps, forearm plank reach through for 15 seconds per side, plank lean for 6 to 10 alternating, and then a prone shoulder raise for 6 to 10 alternating reps. 2 rounds, that's going to really generate some internal heat, plus heat up the shoulders really, really well. And then we're going to work on getting those legs, getting that heart rate up for what's to come. So pause the video, take down that top piece. I'm going to guide you through that next phase. Come along with me. We're going to get those legs ready. All right, the shoulders have gotten a nice little heat up. We're getting ready to go. Our next phase is going to kickstart off with some butt kicks. So the butt kick is, again, a great opportunity to work on posture, position, in that running technique and form. So what we're trying to do is pull that foot up under the glute. That knee is going to come slightly forward as I find this nice positioning, and I'm just going to go back and forth, trying to maintain a relaxed foot, a tight midsection as I work on that back and forth position hitting that position every single time. Now with this, I can take it at a walking pace if I'm just starting to warm things up. I can take it at a jogging pace. I can take it at a sprinting pace, but all the while that foot is coming up, being pulled with the hamstring. If you feel your quad and hip starting to gas out, it's probably a good indicator that you're marching and bringing that knee forward and foot forward, opposed to knee forward, foot up, okay? So we want to think about pulling up with that hamstring, not with the quad. So if you feel that happening, probably a good indicator that that quad is working overtime, pulling that foot up to the front like our dumbbell standing march. So play with that, have some fun with it. Only take it as fast as you can maintain that key pull with that hamstring. After a round of butt kicks, you're gonna work on some air squats. And these air squats, we're gonna try and take right into our goblet squat. As we're doing these air squats, let's make sure that that dumbbell that we're gonna use for the goblet is close by so we can just grab it and go. So I'm gonna turn to the side. The dumbbell's just kind of off to the side in front of me right here so I can see it and I know where it's at. My feet are gonna be in my regular squat stance, so somewhere between hip to shoulder, depending on you as an individual. I'm gonna keep my eyes forward, my body's tall, ribs and hips are engaged. I'm gonna take those hips to the heels, keeping those knees tracking the toes as I stand up, pushing through those legs. So I'm gonna take it down, keeping that nice tall body position, and stand. I'm gonna take this smooth set of squats, maybe to a tempo, maybe not, for 20 seconds. Once I'm done that 20 seconds, I'm gonna pick that dumbbell up, pop it under the chin, set my position, and do the same thing, except in a goblet form for 10 seconds. So we're gonna get a nice tiny taste of that goblet squat after a little bit of steady state movement with that air squat. Remembering the goblet squat mechanics are exactly the same as our air squat. Trying to keep our feet flat, weight through the midfoot, hips drawing back towards the heels, and I'm gonna be trying to take that nice tall body position. So we're trying to maintain that good posture through our air squat to our goblet squat. After we're done that little sequence of squatting, we're gonna move into our Renegade Row. So our Renegade Row can be done one of two ways. You can use 2 dumbbells, and you can work on alternating back and forth with 2 dumbbells, or you can use 1 dumbbell and alternate back and forth with your hands on the ground. The hands on the ground probably feel a little nicer on the hand, especially as we get fatigued. Sometimes we kind of loosen that engagement on those arms, and the dumbbell tends to dig into the thumb. So this will just prevent that, but we still want to focus on pushing those shoulders away. So first things first with the Renegade Row, if you're not comfortable doing it with load, you don't have to. What you're going to do is you're going to get yourself into a plank with your feet at about a sumo stance. From here, we're going to shift our weight, pushing through that arm. We're going to pull the other hand into the hip, keeping the elbow close. Then we'll lower it down, we'll shift our weight, pull, and then we'll shift our weight, pull, and we're just going to work on that nice smooth shift and pull to get ourselves comfortable and get ourselves used to balancing and bracing on that one hand as we pull that dumbbell to the hip. Or the empty hand, I should say, to the hip. Now with the dumbbell, what we're going to do with a single is we're going to put it underneath of our torso. Our hands are going to go into our normal plank position, and my feet are going to go in that same straddle squat to sumo. I'm going to shift my weight, I'll take hold, I'll pull the dumbbell into my low rib, I'll put it back, plant the hand, shift, take hold, pull, shift, pull, shift, pull. And remembering when I shift, I'm trying to keep my torso, shoulders and hips square to the floor, and I'm trying not to rotate open too much into a side plank. We want to try and stay as square to the floor as we can. So take your time with this. These do not have to be fast. In the work set, all right, we're looking at 10 back and forth total count. So it's only 5 per side. So please keep that in mind. These do not have to be quick. They just need to be done smooth and steady in our warm-up and in our work set. So play around with the loading for this, make sure we can execute that good shift and pull and try and keep that body as still as we can. As a quick recap, we have 20 seconds worth of butt kicks, 20 seconds worth of air squats, right into 10 seconds of goblet squats. Renegade row, 4 to 6 alternating to give yourself a little practice. And then again, if you'd like to substitute the butt kick later on in those rounds for a run, a row, a bike, whatever you plan on doing for your cardio and your workout, please do so in that work set. So make sure you're building that warm-up round to what you're gonna get close to into the work set. Pause the video, take that down, get yourself ready to go, you guys. It's gonna get you guys fired up and ready for action to take down this long AMRAP. Welcome. We've made it to the work set. What we have for you guys, we have a 25-minute AMRAP. In this 25-minute AMRAP, you will run 800 meters or 600 meters, or that run equivalent. So check the workout description, pick your cardio piece for you, rock it, have some fun with it. Double under 50 or a double under equivalent. So again, checking the workout description for those skipping options. Take that down, have some fun. Then we're gonna move into our goblet squat. We're only hitting 10. So with the goblet squat, if you do have access to multiple dumbbells, you can go a little heavier today with this goblet squat just because there's only 10 of them. So keep that in mind. If you only have access to a lighter set of loads, that's okay. Work those goblet squats well. Try and make them as picture perfect as you can. Even perhaps throwing a little tempo in there if you'd like, of 3 seconds down, normal stand up. That's a cool way to play with this workout because it's not really meant to be super fast. After the goblet squat, we have 10 alternating renegade rows. So please take that down. Again, if you have multiple sets of dumbbells, this will be the lighter of the two between the goblet and the row. The renegade row will definitely be the lighter of the two. If you're not comfortable doing the renegade row with load, just that empty hand variation I showed you in that previous portion of our warm-up, take that down, rock it with a little pause to build that strength and comfort balancing on the one hand. So as an idea, if you need any recaps on any of these movements, scroll back into our previous warm-up. It's all there for you in terms of points of performance. But with this workout, again, like we talked about earlier, this is not meant to be a sprint. So I want you guys to find a pace, settle in, try and maintain very similar run or cardio pieces in terms of your timing for that. Try and keep it very consistent throughout the 25 minutes and maintain good form and good position throughout this work set. Keep it steady, keep it moving. Have fun with this one, you guys. It's gonna kickstart the week really well and then move you into that midweek portion. So I hope you have a ton of fun. Let me know what you do for your options. Fill those things in. I'm always interested to see how you make these workouts yours. Let me know how it goes, and we'll see you tomorrow for some more fun times. Bye, you guys.